What's up, everyone? And today I bring a deck profile on my Trickstar deck. Now, this is going to be a bit different from how most people probably play Trickstars, as this profile is more focused on the Trickstar burn, which, thanks to the new cards, is actually viable. Now, viable at like a YCS or something? Absolutely not. But I actually took this to a tournament and I got some wins with it using all the burn. Guys, all the new cards really improved the consistency of this deck, and with a few other cards I added in, this deck is actually pretty good. So make sure to like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. First, I run 3 copies of Trickstar Candina. Candina is your starter. You always want to have Candina in your hand, or at least a way to get to Candina. When Candina is normal summoned, you can add 1 Trickstar card from your deck to your hand. And that's really good considering it's not limited to like monsters, spells, or traps. Because there's a lot of cards you can search depending on what other cards you have in your hand. But all around, this is your best card. I play 3 Hoodie. Hoodie is pretty good. Not only can Hoodie special summon itself if you control a Trickstar Fusion or a Link monster, but you can special summon this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard as material for a Trickstar Link monster, you can add 1 Trickstar Fusion or Trickstar Defusion from your deck to your hand. If you don't play the Defusion, we will play the Trickstar Fusion. We also play 3 copies of the Trickstar Aqua Angel. Aqua Angel is treated as a Marincess card, which is weird to kind of combine Trickstars and Marincess, but I guess they're both like musical creatures in a way. Honestly, we should make a new type instead of it being like illusion, make it just music. Because you can fit so many decks into the archetype. But Aqua Angel is pretty good. If you control a Trickstar or Marincess monster, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you can look at all cards in your opponent's hand and all set cards they control. So this is really good, especially if you have this right away. Then you can know what hand traps are coming, or if they have any hand traps at all. And having hand knowledge is really good, especially when that hand knowledge just summons yourself back, which is used as link material, which is pretty good. Now, obviously, you can just summon it from the hand in the same way as like you can summon Korobane, but ideally, you'd rather have this in hand than use it as material for the fusion summon. Then you can just special summon it back. Oddly, Aqua Angel is a once per duel, which is weird, but still a very good card you want to run 3 of. Another card I run 3 of is Trickstar Korobane. In a lot of profiles, I see people only run like 1 or 2 Korobane, which I don't really agree with. Especially for the burn strategy, you kind of need more Trickstar monsters. Because one problem I was noticing is to where the more Trickstar monsters you have in your hand, especially if they can special summon themselves, then the easier it is to do more burn damage through the Holy Angel. So Korobane at 3 is definitely something you want. Originally I had it at 2 as standard, but through practice I realized I need 1 more Korobane just because I wasn't seeing enough Trickstars in hand. I run 1 Trickstar Lycoris. And yes, this is the really nice ulti. Funny enough, I actually pulled one from an OTS. I think that was the first OTS ulti I ever pulled was a Trickstar Lycoris. But Lycoris, I kind of cut down to 1, and it's honestly tempting to cut Lycoris out entirely, but we still need some Trickstar names. And my parents run 3 of the best ones. But Lycoris does have some use. Basically, you can reveal this card in your hand and target 1 Trickstar monster you control. Special summon this card, and if you do, return that monster to the hand. Now there is use for this, as you can use it to kind of get more burn damage off of Holy Angel. Or if you want to protect your Candina. Or if you want to do more burn damage with Reincarnation, because Lycoris does have a burn effect like Candina. For Lycoris, each time your opponent draws a card, or each time a card is added to the hand, inflict 100 damage for each. So let's say you have Reincarnation, activate Reincarnation, then they're going to take 200 damage for each card they're drawing. I run one copy of Lilybell. If Lilybell is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon it. That's pretty much the only reason why you run Lilybell. Now for the hand traps, I play the obvious Droll and Lockbird. It's Trickstars. Droll's mandatory. I also play 3 Ghost Ogre, 1 Ash, 1 Crow. You could probably maybe run 3 Ash and 1 Ogre. The ratios don't matter too much. I just mainly prefer to run 1 Ash and 3 Ogre because I already have the Droll, and Droll is kind of like Ash but does more in a way. And Ogre is pretty good, you know, just being able to blow stuff up, and I've noticed it's just becoming better and better, especially in the past couple formats. And the reason why I run at least 1 Ash, 1 Crow, you'll see once we get to the spells. Moving on to the spells, I run 3 copies of Trickstar Light Stage. Light Stage is really good. When this card is activated, you can add 1 Trickstar monster from your deck to your hand, and that's not once per turn, which is really good. So if you have multiple Light Stages, you're just going to get multiple searches off it, which is really, really cool. Additionally, you can target 1 set card in your opponent's spell and trap zone, and while this card is in the field zone, that set card cannot be activated until the end phase. And your opponents must activate it during the end phase, or else send it to the graveyard. This was pretty cool back in the day, but not really too much anymore. But the third effect, that's really what makes this deck work. Each time a Trickstar monster you control inflicts battle or effect damage to your opponent, inflict 200 damage to them. Trickstar, Light Stage, Holy Angel are sort of like the key cards of the burn part. As for Holly, each time a monster is summoned to a zone she points to, then Holly will inflict 200. And every time Holly inflicts damage, Light Stage will inflict damage. As well as another card, but we also run 1 Terraforming. Next, I run 3 Trickstar Festival. While I don't like the secondary or the restriction on Festival to where you can only special summon Trickstar monsters from the, or you cannot special summon monsters to turn you activate this card except Trickstar monsters, so it locks you into Trickstars, which is really unfortunate, but with the new Trickstar cards, we can actually do stuff with the extra deck Trickstar monsters, because before, you would play Trickstars, but the extra deck monsters just didn't really do anything because they were too focused around the burn strategy. Now that that's viable, those cards are actually good. And Festival is definitely important because it just summons 2 tokens flat out. Not only will this trigger the Holy Angel to burn, but you know, it gets 2 free monsters. That's an easy link too, and you can just go straight into something like Noble Angel or Catback or whatever you really want to go into. And since we don't really play much outside of Trickstars, the restriction on this is minimal at best. I do play 1 Trickstar Fusion. It's nice to actually be able to use this card now, because when this card first came out, it was not good because Band Sweet Guitar wasn't really good. But the new Fusion monster, the Band Dramatis, is actually pretty good and very important for the overall strategy. And Fusion, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to add 1 Trickstar monster from your grave to your hand. But you cannot normal summon or spell summon monsters with that name for the rest of the turn. So it becomes kind of useless, but it does have a use, especially with the Crimson Heart. And next, a card that really kind of brings the burn strategy together. 3 Dark Room of Nightmare. Dark Room of Nightmare, if you don't know, is a very old card. Basically, each time your opponent takes battle damage or takes damage from a card effect, except Dark Room of Nightmare, inflict 300 damage to that opponent. So basically, every time we inflict damage off of Holy Angel and Light Stage, Dark Room of Nightmare will inflict additional 300. And honestly, you could probably like FTK with, if you have Dark Room of Nightmare, this can easily turn into an FTK. Now, as far as one thing I do not know, and I wasn't really able to get this checked out, because when I went to the tournament, I did not have Dark Room of Nightmare. It had not arrived yet. But, so if you have Holy Angel, this burns, do they chain stack? Is a real question. And this is something I will say I do not know, but if, basically it's Holy Angel burned, then Dark Room burned, then... But I think this has to like go in response to the Holy Angel. So I don't really think it stacks up like that to where you can just do 200, 300, 200, 300. That would be really nice. But Dark Room of Nightmare just really speeds up the burn and basically makes it to where you have a possible FTK. I also run the one Crossout and the one Call By because you do not want to get hand trapped. While this deck can kind of play through hand traps considering it's focused more on the burn strategy, it's a lot more success, I cannot speak, susceptible to hand traps. Moving on to traps, I play one, Trickstar Reincarnation. You really only need to play one because it's not the primary win condition, though if you have Reincarnation and Droll, it basically becomes that win condition, so I don't really use it unless I have Droll in hand. If I have Droll in hand, then I will search it off of the Dramatis or Candina if I have everything I need. Because if you don't know the famous play to where basically Reincarnation, you banish your opponent's entire hand and they draw a new one, but if they're under Droll, they just simply just banish it and they can't draw anything else off of it. So you just banish their entire hand and they don't get a new one. I also play Maiden of Blue Tears. Maiden of Blue Tears is very important because if your opponent spell summons a monster and you control a link monster, target one of them, destroy it, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of its original attack. And we only play one because it is searchable off of the Trickstar Noble Angel. And I also play 3 Infinite Impermanents as well. Moving on to the extra deck. I play 2 copies of Holy Angel. As I mentioned with Holy Angel before, each time a monster is special summoned to a zone it points to, you can burn for 200 damage. I also play 2 copies of Noble Angel. Noble Angel, if it's link summoned, you can add 1 Blue Tears card from your deck to your hand. And if you have a fusion monster on your field or in your graveyard, you can target 1 Trickstar monster in your graveyard, special summon it. And if effect damage is inflicted, you can target 1 face-up card on the field, destroy it. Now that actually works pretty well in combination with a card like Trickstar Foxglove Witch. Foxglove Witch, when it is destroyed, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower Trickstar monster from your extra deck. Then inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card they control. And it already inflicts burn damage when it's summoned. Also run 2 copies of Trickstar Colchica. This is one of the new ones. It's basically a link one. But unlike Bloom, it's not restricted to the level because Bloom only works with a level 2 or lower Trickstar monster, which is a bit unfortunate because Candina, Licorice, Aqua Angel, they're all higher than level 2. This really only works with the Trickstar Lilybell and Hoodie. But we still do run 1 Bloom because if we have Holy Angel, we summon Hoodie, then we can just link Bloom over it for another 200 damage. I also run 1 Crimson Heart. Crimson Heart is pretty cool. But if you have, basically you can discard 1 card and draw 1 card, and both players draw 1 card. But if your life points is at least 2,000 or higher, then you draw 2 cards instead. So your opponent will be drawing 1 card, but you'll be drawing 2 cards. Also run the 1 Devardus, which is a pretty cool card to end on, which sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Because Devardus, each time your opponent no more spell summons a monster, inflict 100 damage to your opponent. So if your opponent's low on life, then you can just bring this card out. And that does come up sometimes, but most oftentimes you're going to go for the Bella Madonna for the burn effect. I also run the 1 Black Catback. I don't really summon Catback as much as any of the others, so that's probably the most cuttable one. Also run 1 copy of Bella Madonna. Bella Madonna, you can inflict 200 damage for each Trickstar monster in your graveyard with a different name. So most of the times you're going to be ending on Bella Madonna, but if you don't have the pieces, then Devardus is also an option, or if you want to make Devardus using Bella Madonna, that's also an option as well. As for some generic link monsters, I just run SP and access code. Since we do get locked in Trickstar monsters, not really much of a reason to run many non-Trickstar monsters. But if everything breaks down, SP is going to be a good option if you haven't activated Festival yet. And Access Code Talker is a good finisher as well. And lastly, for the fusions, I run the 1 Trickstar Brand Dramatis. Brand Dramatis, when it's a fusion summon, you can add 1 Trickstar card from your deck to your hand. Overall, really good. That's it for the Trickstar deck profile, and I'll see you in the next video I make.